Okay, everybody, this is Joseph P. Farrell. It's News and Views from the Nefarium on Thursday, July 10th, 2014. I'm still kind of digging out from the effects of the conference, but boy, there has been a lot of news, and I actually might have to make this a two-parter news and views because we have a lot to talk about. First up, we have yet two more people dead in the ongoing bankster suicide murders. And in this case, there's a very interesting article from Business Insider, and then again, another article. I'll link both of these. It seems that Mr. Julian Mott and his wife Alita Mott from the Philippines were found dead in their home in New Jersey, a $600,000 home in New Jersey, of a murder-suicide. The police are saying Mr. Mott shot his wife several times and then turned the gun on himself. Now, I want to read just one significant set of things from an article that I'll be posting for you. This is very, very significant, and then I'll go to another article. Listen very carefully. This is from an article entitled, this is from the Daily Standard in the UK. JP Morgan Bank executive from London shot his wife dead before killing himself in the US. Quote, the father of three was found dead alongside her in their home in Jefferson Township, New Jersey on Sunday. He had worked in the city for almost 12 years before moving to the US in December of 2012. In a tribute posted online soon after the bodies were found, their daughter Kaylee said that the couple were now stress-free. The university student on her Instagram page stated, quote, although I am heartbroken that they will never see me graduate college, get married, or to be grandparents for my children, I can still have inner peace knowing they are now stress-free in a much better place, unquote. Now, toward the end of this article, it states, quote, in a statement, police said, quote, preliminary investigation has revealed that the two adults died as a result of gunshot wounds, and the incident has been determined to be a murder-suicide. Julian Knott, age 45, shot his wife Alita Knott, age 47, multiple times, then took his own life with the same weapon, unquote. On Facebook, friends of the couple Reyes Cham Ortega wrote, I worked with him for only 2 years, but that was enough to know a lot about him and his family. I am still shocked and cannot believe it, unquote. JP Morgan declined to comment, unquote. Now, in another article from Business Insider, it states right toward the end, quote, according to his LinkedIn profile, Julian Knott worked as an executive director in the Global Network Operations Center at JP Morgan Chase. Alita Knott worked as an agent for Coldwell Banker, unquote. Now, I want you to look what we have here. We've got family members testifying that they're under some sort of stress. We have a friend stating that she could not believe it. In other words, she is expressing doubt that either of these people would take their lives. So in other words, and I tend to believe this to be true, given all the bankers that have died associated with JP Morgan, that these are indeed murders. This was made to look like a suicide. Now, what I find very interesting here is that the wife, Alita Knott, apparently worked for Coldwell Banker. Now, for those of you in Europe and elsewhere around the world, Coldwell Banker is a major American commercial and residential real estate mortgage bank. Okay, so in other words, what we've got is a connection now to mortgages. And if you'll roll back the tape to several months ago, you'll recall the fellow in Colorado that had driven nails into his head that was involved in the mortgage title business. Now, I'm beginning to suspect that maybe this most recent spate of victims here with the knots may be related to that earlier incident and may be telling us that there's something going on concerning massive mortgage fraud in connection with some sort of global operation. Now, for those of you who've been following what I've been arguing or attempting to argue and following former Assistant Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Catherine Austin Fitts, and what she's been describing about the massive amount of mortgage fraud that was present in the system during the first Bush administration, perhaps all of this is related. And perhaps all of this may be suggesting that we are looking at attempt not only to buy up and shred bad paper, as is part of Secretary Fitts' model of analyzing what's going on, but by the nature of the case, you would also have to roll up and shred people, I hate to put it that way, that might have pertinent information about all of this operation. Time alone is going to tell. Now, the other thing that strikes me about the bankster deaths, and I think it's a very significant one, because at this stage, it is, in my opinion, statistically or actuarially impossible that we could have such a spate of suicides and deaths and murders, quite frankly, over such a short period of time. What's interesting, therefore, is the lack of any sort of official response to all of these banker deaths, either in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, Belgium, Holland, any place where we've seen this pattern emerge. There has been no attempt to investigate it officially. Now, I suggest that that is another indicator that we might be looking at part of that hidden system of international finance. In other words, this may not be coming from within the banking community. This may be coming from something much deeper. It may be coming from within the world of intelligence, all right? Now, with that in mind, I want to turn to an article that appeared on Der Spiegel Online International, because now when we turn to Germany, the Germans are upset. And when I say the Germans, I mean the German government. And I want you to listen to what the Der Spiegel article is saying about the recent German attempt to kick the head of American CIA operations in that country out of Germany. Listen carefully. Quote, marking its most vocal response yet to the United States for alleged spying in a tough new tone, the government in Berlin asked Washington's top CIA official in Germany to leave the country on Thursday. The news followed a meeting of the Parliamentary Control Panel in the federal parliament responsible for scrutiny of intelligence services. Skipping a paragraph. Quote, the first case involved an employee with Germany's Foreign Intelligence Service. Last Friday, federal prosecutors in Germany said they had arrested the employee of the Bundesnachrichtendienst, or the BND, or BND as we call it in English, Foreign Intelligence Agency, on suspicion that he had acted as a spy against Germany by selling secrets to U.S. intelligence agents, including documents pertaining to the Special Parliamentary Committee investigating spying by the NSA in Germany. Skipping 3 paragraphs now. On a diplomatic level, it is no less than an earthquake and represents a measure that until Thursday would have only been implemented against pariah states like Iran and North Korea. It underscores just how deep tensions have grown between Berlin and Washington over the spying affair. The decision to take the step was made during telephone talks on Thursday morning between Interior Minister Thomas de Maizière, Foreign Minister Frank-Walter Steinmeier, and Chancery boss Peter Altmaier, who is Chancellor Angela Merkel's chief of staff. The three ministers had expressed disappointment over American reactions and were unanimous in agreeing that Germany could not simply let the matter rest, unquote. Now, let me stop there before I proceed. You'll recall a few weeks ago I talked about the German Interior Minister Thomas de Maizière, all right? Now, you'll recall, is from a family that has a long association in German military and governmental affairs. And he has been, like the family, an ardent supporter of Germany's Western and Atlantic tilt. All right. For him to recommend this action in conjunction with the foreign minister and someone coming from Angela Merkel's office itself is hugely significant. Now, let me continue with this article from Der Spiegel. Quote, Interior Minister de Maizière did not comment after the consultations, but Finance Minister Wolfgang Schäuble sought to play down the possible damage caused by the German intelligence leaks, describing the information the U.S. had obtained as laughable, unquote. Now, let me stop right there and suggest something to you. I believe that this might have been an op by the German intelligence services to catch the USA in the act. All you need to do is dangle a little information, all right? And I think we have to entertain that possibility, and you can't blame them because the USA took the bait, all right? So let me continue. Quote, at the same time, he also said that the political damage caused through the suspicion of U.S. spying had been serious. He added that Germany needed effective protection from attacks on its modes of communication as well as effective counterintelligence, which he described as indispensable to our democracy, which is capable of defending itself, unquote. Now, at the bottom of the page, quote, the defense minister added that trust had been shaken since the revelations by NSA whistleblower Edward Snowden that U.S. intelligence agencies have been spying on Germany. She said that if Washington is interested in trusting relations in the long term, then it will have to make clear to its intelligence services that it is not politically acceptable to do just anything it is capable of doing. Now, stop and consider all this, folks. We have the possibility of an operation to catch American intelligence right in the act of spying on Germany. And that's what I believe we are looking at here. I think this was an operation by the German Federal Prosecutor's Office, by certain elements within the German intelligence community, both within the BND and possibly other aspects of German intelligence and security, the Bundesverfassungsdienst, and so on, to catch the United States in the act of spying on an ally. And the statement from the German defense minister that we have the capability of defending our democracy, that is a huge statement, folks. And it's as much of a strong warning that we have had from Germany to another Western power since prior to World War II. That's how serious this is. So I think you're looking at a break here, folks, the beginning of a split that we've seen slowly emerging. And make no mistake, this means we are going to have to watch even more closely what Russia and China and the other BRICS nations, how they are going to respond to this. My guess is you're going to see Russia make some sort of statement of solidarity or support for Germany. And I don't see that the USA is going to reverse what has become a terribly counterintuitive course geopolitically. And one final thing, I do think that the banker deaths, this German spying scandal, and all of these other things are related. I'll let you think about that and ponder it. I'll see you next week for news and views from the Nefarium. God bless everybody. See you on the flip side.